Redneck Mutt, peace. So, got a starter here. It's got some issues. I'm gonna see if I can't do something to it. I've ordered some parts. Whether they're right or not, we'll find out. If you ever messed with these guys at all, but you got armatures, stator windings, and brushes. And the brushes go to the armature. Really what I find with these guys is they either have a bushing that's just dirty and tight, or they need brushes, or the armature's a little bit gunked up. I don't want to say I'm the most successful guy at rebuilding starters, or I hate to say rebuilding. Rebuilding might not be the right word. I don't even want to say renew. That's not right either. If you notice, this bolt goes all the way through the cap to the end. That's the way these old guys do. And I'm going to say refresh, because it's not really rebuild. It's not going to be brand new when I'm done. I don't have anything to turn the armature, like properly turn the armature. I might come up with some sandpaper and sand it down and clean it up. I'm hoping that's all I'm really going to find, is that the armature's a little gooed up, and I can get on that. But you can't see it, but there is a brass bushing right here. And that dude actually looks pretty good. So I was having trouble with this guy. Oh, this is outstanding. I want to pick this dude up and show you. So I was having trouble with him, and he just didn't have much power. The armature and brushes actually look pretty good, but I found the problem already. This is great. Flip this guy around. I don't know if you can see these brushes right here. Are all touching the armature as they should. This one is not. If you look, there are little springs. See that little spring? I'm having trouble because it's backwards on me. That little spring right there pushes down on the brush. This little spring is stuck off to the side, not pushing down on his brush. So that starter was not getting all his power. That's and that armature really does not look too bad. I've seen a lot worse. So let's see if I can get him down where he's supposed to go. To pull this spring back, then put the armature in, or put the brush in. Flipped. Hang on. We're working on here. Honk. There we go. Well, that's really not so shabby. I kind of like that it's done that. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this bushing, and I might just spray on the front bushing. I might, if I could tap that dude off or not. It's so good, I kind of hate to. Is the whole thing coming? Yep. All right. Well, since I'm past the point of no return, let's just go there with it. All right, so now I get to put all my brushes back, which isn't horrible. I can look at it a little bit better here.
see if the brushes I got are correct, all that good stuff. This doesn't really have much of a hold down on it. Interesting. Very interesting. I need my light. Might be all right. So what I was looking at was the stator windings. I don't know if you can see that or not. See, you got a stator winding there, and you got a stator winding there. And this one does not have any windings on it. That to me strikes me as odd. Because one, it's there, but looking down inside it don't look like it's ever had any windings on it. That connects there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. So I'm not sure, but I'll end up putting it back together here in a minute. That'll give me a chance to look at this bushing. It really looks pretty decent. So I'm gonna throw a little grease on them and slap it back together. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing gloves. I wear gloves quite a bit, especially when I'm doing stuff that I might get greasy, when I'm doing body work. So if you're doing paint and body work and you get greasy and you don't get it cleaned off your hands good, then you can get that kind of embedded in some of your body work, and then your paint will not adhere correctly and you'll have a reaction. So I always try to wear gloves, and then I'll still wash up good and all that. But it's not a bad idea if you can get used to it, just to wear gloves whenever you're doing engine work, body work, whatever, because you keep all them chemicals off your hands and all that stuff. But you know, I've been exposed to chemicals for years, so this is more just for grease for my body work. So one of these days it'll probably get me, but today it's not that day. So anyway, I might hit that dude with some sandpaper too, just because he's here. Spray everything off with some carb cleaner or brake clean, and slap it back together. I've got a spider web on me now. This bugging me. So this is on the bed of my truck, so I'm going to pull this over here real quick. Boom. I'm not going to pull this starter drive out. He's in there, right there. You just take two more bolts out, you get that starter drive out. There's a couple clips, and then he would come off. Not gonna. really feel like somebody's tried to rebuild this dude not too long ago. Trying to think where my grease is. Some people tell you not to grease them. I'm a fan of light lube in these bushings. I think it helps them out. You know, you just don't want to get a bunch, because if you get a bunch, then it's eventually going to work its way to your armature. Your armature doesn't like grease. So just get a little bit in there. It's a little bit less important on this end because this end doesn't have your electronics in it. I'm going to use this screwdriver just to try to get it all the way to the end. I'll put some on the shaft here. There we go. Alright, this dude slides in here like that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but trying might be the most boring video ever. But I should have paid attention to how this went together and come apart. But I did not. So let's look at it here. That looks like where my bolts are going to go down through. They are there. That is articulated on the car like that, so that should go over here. What I'm doing right here is pushing the springs back of the brushes, trying to get them to ride down on the armature. Boom. See that? This little spacer washer was there. Get this guy and see if I'm halfway lined up here. The ideal thing to have done would be me to take a paint pen and put a mark before I pop them dudes apart, but I kind of went in a hurry, you know. That one is started in. That one is started in. So, if you noticed, I ended up not rebuilding anything. The brushes were probably about half worn, which is fine by me. They got a lot of life left in them. A little bit of grease. Putting that one brush back where it goes, I think is going to be the key to what had this starter acting up. And if it's not, then that one winding, that just kind of makes me wonder if it's supposed to be there or not. But I hate it when I get those pushed out. Can't get them pushed back. But the motor turning over generally shoves him back pretty good. So let's see here. You're going to go on the motor like that. You're going to be up there on top. Yeah, I think you're okay. So that was a short video about a starter. I don't know if you learned anything. I don't know if I learned anything. But, you know, you go. Some people, when they work on things, they're a little nervous about it. You know, I mean, and you can't blame them. You're working on your car. Hopefully you're not confident it's not your daily driver, but if it is and there's something wrong with it, you know, YouTube that stuff. If you got a, I don't know, if you got a 2008 Dodge Dart and you think the plugs need changed and you don't know how, YouTube it. Somebody out there's done it. Then when you're doing it, mark stuff. You got a phone, take pictures of stuff. That's like the biggest tool in the free world now is a phone. Back when I was learning to tear this stuff apart, all you had was a manual if you were lucky. Most of the time you just kind of took it apart and looked at it, paid attention, and tried to get it back together the way you remembered. Worked pretty good for, starters, maybe an engine, little things. You pull a transmission apart, an automatic transmission, maybe it's a little more difficult. You're drawing little maps where little balls go and this and that, but I'll try to shoot a video and let you know how this starter works. It might just be attached to this video. See if it works any better or not. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to find out if that's supposed to have that stator. I will double check my parts here in a minute that I got ordered for it that are sitting over on the bench and see if they're correct. Man, when you're dealing with these old weird starters like this one, Rock Auto says, oh yeah, that's this. Lots of times they're right, sometimes they're not. And it's not really their fault. It's just so odd, obsolete stuff. And they're just going off of the manufacturer that sent it to them going, oh yeah, that fits this and this and this. So, when you're dealing with stuff that's, 70 years old, sometimes it just don't work. So, but anyway, there it is. We'll see what happens with that. Peace. Rainette Muck. Thought I'd give you a little update on the starter. So yesterday I got it installed and hooked up, and it worked great. So yes, my problem was that one brush not being engaged to the armature, and I also looked at a diagram to figure out why it only had 3 windings in it, 3 of the coils, stator coils. That's because it's supposed to. I don't know. I was kind of surprised. There's probably somebody out there that has the answer on why there's 3 and not 4. Maybe I'm used to looking at different motors than just a starter motor, because I don't get into starter motors a bunch. But it just kind of goes to show, oh, yeah, the other thing was all my parts were wrong. So after checking those out, yeah, they didn't matter anyway. So I did what I could do yesterday. I pulled it apart, I cleaned it up, I found a problem I was able to repair, and made it work well. So yeah, anyway, never underestimate checking it out. If you're going to replace it or take it somewhere and have it rebuilt, unless you just know it's toast, it might be worth a check. In this case, it worked out for me, and I got a good starter out of it, and it seems to work well. So I wish I'd got a video of putting it on, because that was a whole nother venture, but I was kind of pressed for time. So anyway, I just kind of want to let everybody know that that it worked well. So yeah, peace.